Here's what's coming into view on Elevating Denver for September 2022. A conversation with the Luna family.
A lot of people don't have art in their life, nor do they excel at sports. In retrospect, I'm so blessed.
Examine art that encourages mental health.
I hope seeing all this work, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to talk about what's going on through your life. It's okay to reach out for help.
And make time to appreciate Denver's elephants.
So the elephant program here at Denver Zoo is pretty unique. We have 5 male Asian elephants, the largest all-male bachelor herd in North America.
These stories and more are just ahead on Elevating Denver.
We want to celebrate each other's culture, but I talk a lot about that here in Denver, that we have trauma because of gentrification, and a lot of folks are upset, are hurt, but we need to start that healing in community, and I believe La Raza Park Day is one of those things that can help community heal and bring not just Chicanos here to celebrate our culture, but every Denverite is welcome to this park to go ahead and celebrate La Raza Park Day.
August 21st, 2022, the 4th La Raza Proclamation Cruise Day here at La Raza Park, and I'm really proud to be a part of it. I used to cruise this park back in the early 80s, lowriders back then too.
This year is going to be awesome because we worked with intergovernmental agencies to actually shut down the streets, Navajo and Osage and 39th, so lowriders are going to be parked around the outside of the park. Cruising is part of Denver culture, Chicano culture, and it's art. It's our way of expression. La Raza Park Day is all about family, but we want people to feel safe, happy, and that they're enjoying themselves. And it's just a way to go ahead and, end the summer. You'll see a blessing by Grupo Tlaloc, and there's going to be promotoras walking around doing smoke medicine, smudging people with sage. We have the Latin Soul Party DJing. We have b-boys and luchadors and tons of vendors and food trucks.
We're just here to check out the awesome cars, maybe have some good food, and just celebrate the culture.
I'm here to visit the Raza over here and these beautiful rides that they have. The good food that it looks like be tasty. I think just the camaraderie with all the people here.
For me, this is incredibly important to be here for my community because I grew up in this neighborhood, and the Chicano community has worked so hard to change the name.
For our Chicano community, Mexicano community, this is hallowed ground. This is sacred space. You can see the kiosco behind me. This is part of the Chicano rights movement. People have been coming here for a long, long time, and the name change has been long overdue. Community's been advocating for 50 plus years to make that change from Columbus Park to La Raza Park. This will be the actual first La Raza Park Day where the name is changed. So it's another big part of the celebration this Sunday because the name is finally changed.
I think the significance is super important to anybody that's born and raised here in Denver, here on the north side of Denver, and just anybody who has Denver pride, just to bring that culture back and to spread culture in the community and to let people know that our Raza is still here and we're still alive and breathing.
I think this event is important because this is kind of where, in terms of the Chicano movement, how it emerged, representation of that struggle, to maintain traditions, culture, and it just brings people together.
This park has been under the community for a really, really long time, and I just want folks just to feel like they belong here and that take ownership and have birthdays here and celebrations like that, because it's theirs, it's their park and they should be here.
My favorite part of the event, the traditional Mexica Danzante, Grupo Tlaloc has been, they're a staple in community, in ceremony. A lot of folks look at it because they're not aware that, you know, what they're doing is sacred dance. It looks beautiful, you know what I mean? Yes, it's entertaining, but that's our medicine. That's the way we heal our community and a way that we express ourselves. And that's like one other thing out here at La Raza Park Day. We're not only bringing you entertainment, like we're bringing you medicine. And then there's also going to be Servicios de la Raza is going to be here. They're going to be helping people with wraparound services, or, you know, there's always somebody that's in need of help, in that, whether that be mental health services or somebody needing to apply for food benefits or whatnot. There's a lot of different things that are here, not just entertainment, there's resources. What I want folks to walk away with from La Raza Park Day is seeing Chicano culture. We're still here in community. We're still celebrating our culture. We want to share that. We want to share our food.
To see the Chicano culture come and remember what we've done socially and politically in this community, like, it just feels good. It's a happy day. It's always a happy day at La Raza Park.
Family, friends, good times, and lowriders.
The Luna family has had a profound impact on the Denver metro area and beyond for decades. When a tennis pioneer and a prolific artist came together, the marriage created a unique blend of art and athletics, and an enduring legacy with 6 dynamic siblings at the helm, whose impact on local culture is undeniable.
I am Daniel Luna.
And I'm Susan Marie Luna. Daniel's my eldest brother, and I am the youngest girl of the family with 5 brothers. We're 6th generation Coloradoans on my mother's side from the San Luis Valley. And on my father's side, my father was 1st generation here in the United States. His folks were from Mexico. My father was a tennis player and actually got a tennis scholarship to CU Boulder and played for the team up there. And married my beautiful mother, who really was just a natural artist. And her father was also an artist, and so that was the nexus of combining the two. And I just grew up with both of those wonderful things in my life.
Well, my dad was also a teacher and an academic. That was a huge part of our upbringing, was education. And my mom, she didn't let people compromise. She didn't accept reasons that were usually based on laziness. And for her, she wanted people to be able to access the joy and the humor in life. And only through discipline could you do that. You have to have the discipline and not look at it as a chore, but look at it rather as a great gift that we as human beings can achieve a different level of being aware of our lives through discipline.
The Luna siblings have each made an impact in both athletic and artistic disciplines and share a special bond.
We were very close. I was very close to my brothers. I was actually felt very protective of my brothers because they viewed the world, my family viewed the world in a different way, right? It was very creative, and a lot of outside folks weren't used to that. I was fortunate to grow up in that world because once I realized as an adult, a lot of people don't have art in their life, nor do they do sports or excel at sports. In retrospect, I'm so blessed that I had that in my life.
Put it more romantically, I was the shaman. I was also an athlete, you know, and the artist and the academic. All of those things.
Susan was able to blend all aspects of her heritage by launching Luna Apparel that can be found at Zone Marketplace in Denver, an incubator that supports small businesses and entrepreneurs.
It was really going back to my center and finding a place that makes me happy and brings me joy, and it's always been art and tennis. I wanted to brighten up the tennis scene too and make it creative and fun, and it should be affordable. It should be something that people can have a little bit of Colorado, a unique part of Colorado. I grew up playing in a very white-dominated sport, and to have a little Latin flair, I thought that would be really cool.
Before his untimely passing last year, Brother Bob Luna had rendered an imagining of a community-centered mural, and several key community leaders, students, and local artists stepped in to bring Bob's vision to life. The mural was originally located at the mission-driven Same Cafe and recently found its permanent home at the Tattered Cover Colfax location. History Colorado has been working with the Lunas to archive their significant collection.
They do have a new curator now at the museum whose sole purpose is to collect and nurture and develop Latino, Mexicano, Chicano artifacts and ephemeral and narratives and stories at History Colorado. I have been sort of the keeper of a lot of artwork after my mother passed away, and just growing up with it, I've collected a lot of family artwork, and so I've been working with them to move some of my family's artwork into the museum.
I would wish our legacy would be that we tried to help through teaching and mostly through sharing different options of existence so as to enhance more individuals' ability to joke with each other. That is my main
levity. I think I'd like our legacy to be that we had the courage to fight for change and make the world a better place. Yeah, that's good.
September is Suicide Prevention Month. In Colorado, our teen suicide rate rose by 54% in the last 4 years. That's twice the national average. One mother, who lives in a suburb of Denver, shares her story.
My son Manasseh committed suicide in November. And I think it's important that people understand that this is happening and it's not okay. I think what kids don't realize is the impact that they have and the lives they destroy by doing this. And I think that's really important that kids understand that it's not just them, you know, checking out. Manasseh was loved by everybody and popular and smart and funny and athletic. In our situation, 2 years ago, Manasseh tried to commit suicide and stated at the mental health hospital it was because of the bullying and the racism, and statistically young men commit suicide more than ladies. And I think it's that, you know, you're supposed to be tough and you're supposed to be macho. I think my son was a phenomenal athlete, but he suffered from mental health, and there's still a mentality that, I mean, they called him a sissy. So I think the schools need to recognize that this is a problem. I think there's a lack of education, and I think there's just a lack of willingness to, we don't want to say suicide. So it's, you know, it's still shameful and quiet, and we can't say the S word, and, you know, we have to. It shouldn't be something that is in the dark, and you're not a sissy if you suffer from depression. My daughter had talked about having a program that went to the schools and calling it, "Would You Murder Your Mother?" And just go to the schools and just, you know, how many of you want to kill your mom? Because if you kill yourself, you absolutely are destroying. And I think it's so widespread now that it's almost glamorized. And, you know, the kids show up and everybody's crying. But, you know, at the end of the day, you're dead. And it, you know, it doesn't matter. And you leave behind just a minefield of destruction.
Tragically, far too many lives are lost to suicide each year. The city of Denver wants to help. Earlier this year, the city sponsored the first ever We Got This Summit, a suicide prevention event bringing resources, hope, and help to metro area teens.
The We Got This Summit really germinated about 3 years ago. We lost our 15-year-old son Jack to suicide. And after Jack died, about a dozen kids came over to our house and they said, "Mr. Padilla, we need to do something. We'd like to do a summit about kids, for kids." And the We Got This Summit is really focused on youth mental health and suicide prevention.
One of the biggest motivations behind all this was Colorado's suicide rate. It is one of the highest in the country, unfortunately, and it's the leading cause of death for teenagers all the way up to ages 26. And so we really want them to see that there's hope, that there are people fighting for them, and that there's a platform here for them to share their stories.
Events like this normalize the conversation. They give the kids the strength and the language they need to be able to speak and advocate. And then there's that education piece of, I know what to look for within myself. I know what to look for within my peers.
I've realized that I'm not the only one. And it shows that there are now more people and more ways to get help.
I know personally for me it's been difficult. So to have something like this and to have our teachers just showing us that they care for our mental health and that we have someone there is good.
I really like that one quote from Robbie's Foundation. It's like, "Hold on, pain ends." She also mentioned that suicide is like a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So I feel like that would really get people to open their mind up a little bit.
I want kids to know that it's okay to not be okay, that it's really important to ask for help, that they aren't alone, that their voice is heard. I want adults to ask the questions, and I always say 2 ears, 1 mouth. Listen twice as much as you talk. We're missing out if we can't talk about this. It's time. It's very, very much time. Don't wait until there is a death. Work on the side of prevention.
If you need help or know someone who does, call 988 or Colorado Crisis Services at 1-844-493-8255 or text TALK to 38255. For more information and resources, go to denvergov.org and search suicide prevention.
Health means a lot to me since I am a Mexican-American woman. I personally struggled with some mental health. I know my mom has definitely, and my dad and my siblings as well, so I think it's something that is definitely something very taboo, especially in Latinx communities.
Salud y Justicia is an exhibition that is specifically about mental health and well-being. We want to create awareness. We knew that it was a problem that was happening.
We very much wanted to let the current area know through an exhibition and through other people's voices and words and work, know how impactful speaking about mental health can be. I think there at times, I'm also speaking personally about the way that you're raised. Like if you start crying or, you have something going on, we suffer in silence. And it's not always comfortable to have these hard conversations with our parents or even our siblings. Through this exhibition, we very much want to break those types of cycles to say, there's no need to suffer in silence anymore. You can either create artwork to be able to show how you're feeling, to express things that you can't sometimes say in words or in a letter, but to be able to express and have people know that you have suffered, but they can see it through your artwork.
My first piece is called Ama and is mostly about my mom and her struggles that she has been through coming to the United States. We have pictures of my mom that I cyanotyped, and from there on I embroidered it onto watercolors of an agave and a nopal, which are very known to Mexico and very known to Chihuahua. So with that, I wanted to incorporate those two together. Then from there on, I added some yarn brown yarn that incorporated like more of the roots, and it's this whole story of like, this is my mom with the roots going out there and spreading and going to us and spreading to myself and my brothers.
They are not all just paintings. You obviously will see photography, you will also see film, you will also see in collaboration or group works of knitting and crocheting. So as people come and enter, they will also see soft sculpture, they will also see traditional Catholic artwork, retablos are also seen, so there is a variety of work that is seen in Salud y Justicia.
One of the pieces that I created was a video. The video is called Tortillas. You see my mom's hands really incorporating with creating the tortillas, like from the first step to the last step. And with that, you have audio playing. It's just me and my mom having a normal conversation about how she got to the United States, her second time crossing the border while pregnant, while she was 7 months pregnant, and all the struggles that she went through. And it's just this whole conversation while kind of bonding and creating tortillas and everything like that.
Una experiencia que jamás se olvida, y con esto que está pasando ahorita de los de migración.
My mom means a lot to me because like I've seen her struggles and I've seen everything that she has come to be the person that she is today. Like this is me saying like thank you for everything. This is the struggles that I see you have been through, and you're passing those struggles aside and putting everything that you wanted with us, with me and my siblings. I hope that whoever comes in here and is going through something, I hope seeing all this work, it's like, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to like talk about what's going on through your life. It's okay to reach out for help. I think it's something that we all need to do. And I think I want actually them to be walking through these pieces and looking through everything and seeing the descriptions on the wall about this whole entire show. I want them to be like, oh, okay, like if they could do it, I could do it. And if they could talk about mental health and everything like that, like I could do it as well. It's easier said than done, but I think like seeing artists talk about it and taking like the small baby steps to getting help and to reaching out to people, I think it's very important.
Elephant Appreciation Day is obviously a favorite day for those of us who work with the elephants, but there's a lot more that we are learning from them while they live here, and every time that someone comes to visit them at Denver Zoo just helps support all of the research we're doing to learn more. So the elephant program here at Denver Zoo is pretty unique. We have 5 male Asian elephants, the largest all-male bachelor herd in North America. Groucho is the oldest, he's 52 years old. He's the teacher, the boss of the whole group. Then there's Bodhi, he's 18. He moved here from Columbus, was the very first male elephant we had living in Denver. Then we had Billy, who's behind me. He's 14 years old. He moved here from Ireland. Chuck and Jake are half-brothers. They moved here from Canada in 2018. Chuck is also 14, just slightly younger than Billy, and Jake is the youngest at 12. 14-year-old Chuck is the smallest at 9,000 pounds, so it's not tiny by any means. Their personalities are very unique from one another. Jake is very, very mellow and very into snacks. He loves treats. If there is a treat somewhere to be found, he will find it. Chuck is our social butterfly. He really enjoys time spent with any of the other animals. Groucho, the oldest at 52, would spend more time alone than the youngsters, so based on what they're telling us and they're indicating every single day, we tailor their day to what they need as an individual. Asian elephants are an endangered species, so there are less than 40,000 of them worldwide. That includes the 5 males who live here in Denver. That's a really low number, a shockingly low number. And they live in range countries where their space is being reduced, and as you can imagine, they require quite a bit of space. 10, 15 years ago, there really wasn't much known about wild bull groups. A lot had been studied in the African savanna elephants, but not as much in the Asian range countries. So it's been really great to see what they're learning about Asian bulls over in India and other range countries. And we're supporting one another in what we're learning here from the males living in Denver. So it's been a really exciting relationship that we've developed over the last couple of years. So Denver Zoo built Toyota Elephant Passage with the intent to house adult male elephants. So over the 10 acres of space, you will find 5 very large, separate individual habitats that can be combined through a series of transfer gates or different hallways that can combine the entire space so animals can come and go as they please. So the amount of options we have for the elephants to engage just in their habitat alone is significant. The complexity of the exhibit allows for us to take really great care of, again, each individual in whichever state they are in from a growth perspective. So all of the elephants are trained to allow us to draw their blood voluntarily. They stand nice and still. We're able to take a blood sample to make sure that they're not starting to fight any sort of illness and making sure that they're nice and healthy. But then every other week we collect plasma in order to build up our storage in case there was an emergency. So elephants across the country and in their range countries experience a disease called EEHV. It is a form of the herpes virus and it is potentially fatal to elephants. And one of the best ways that we can help support a zoo who is experiencing that illness in one of their elephants or support our own elephants if they were to get sick is by doing these plasma therapies. The collection we'll be doing today is not for an active emergency anywhere. It is so that we are able to continue building up our storage of plasma in our freezer so that we're prepared if there was to be an emergency, we could ship that anywhere across the country to help support another zoo. Everything we do is with the animals participating actively, so he always has the opportunity to leave. He is not restrained, he's not forced to stay here. He's being fed treats on the other side of the wall there. They've learned that no matter what happens, they have control in the situation, so if he doesn't want to allow it to happen, that's totally fine. And he won't get punished for not participating. We really make sure we focus on the elephants having control over their situation. So we built this little cage there for us to sit in to continue to protect ourselves while we're working with them. So this way we were able to kind of extend our protected space to be underneath them. It gives us really great access to their veins. We never go in the same space as an elephant without some sort of protection like that. So we do not share the same space with elephants. Elephants are, I think in general, have always been a favorite of a lot of people. They're very charismatic. And I think what we're doing here, learning and researching more about bull behavior, my hope is that people start to recognize similar complexities that they have as human individuals. They might recognize in these males as well and really connect with each individual that lives here in Denver. So every time someone comes to visit us here in Denver, really not only helps just the elephants here, but elephants globally.
Stay elevated by subscribing to the city's YouTube page for these stories and more. And stay tuned to our social media channels for more content. Don't miss our new episodes of Elevating Denver, premiering each month. Thanks for watching, Denver.